What is love? Do 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 do. What is love? Do do do. What is love? Do 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 do. What is love? Do do do. What is love? Do 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 do. What is love? Do do do. What is love? Do 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 do. What is love? Do do do. What is love? Do 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 do. What is love? Do do do. What is love? Hi, I'm Merlin Malilly. Welcome to the Love Show, where we grapple with the question, what is love? Today's Love Show is about unconditional love. Not horribly surprisingly, I found very little on unconditional love. It's kind of sad that I wasn't surprised. But I guess no one's getting paid to write about unconditional love. I'm not getting paid to write about unconditional love either. I'm not getting paid to make the Love Show. In fact, the Love Show costs me money, or essentially it costs my husband money, so he's my biggest sponsor. But he loves me. Hopefully unconditionally. Though I would love a network to also love me and reciprocate me for my unconditional love of humanity. But when you give unconditional love, it's hard to know. It's hard to know if it's going to stay that way. It's hard to know if it's going to always be unconditional. It's easy to give it, well, it's not easy to give it unconditionally, but it's easier to give it unconditionally than to always keep it unconditional. I've had experiences where I invited people to Thanksgiving dinner, for instance, once. Strangers that needed a place to be for Thanksgiving. So they came to my house, they ate, they slept on my couch, they woke up, they ate some more. They didn't help with prep or cleanup. I'm not even sure they said thank you. But after they went online and told people how they had a slave for Thanksgiving, they referred to me as their slave. And they told people that I knew, that told me that they said that. I didn't know these people. So I became a little resentful. I wanted my unconditional love back. So it sort of became conditional after that, because I hadn't considered that condition. So I started to question people all along the way. So I could be sure to consider certain conditions. I'd been feeding people for over 10 years. What did the millions of other people that I fed think of me? Did they think I was their slave? But mostly, I came to the realization that that particular instances like those, inviting ungrateful people to dinner and people saying horrible things about you behind your back, those are the kinds of things that keep people from giving unconditional love. It's what makes people afraid of unconditional love. Because no one wants to be treated that way. No one wants to give of themselves and then be called a slave. No one wants that. I certainly didn't. Sort of blindsided me. I didn't expect that. You go giving of yourself on Thanksgiving and to have someone be that ungrateful. And it's weird how just a little thing like that, in a matter of seconds, selfish, ignorant people can make you question your whole existence and that of your fellow species. I was questioning. I was questioning everyone's motives. So when you run a free kitchen, it's kind of cool. Well, I ran them mainly on faith. And you have to have faith that the multiverse will provide. And it usually does. And everything goes smoothly with this give and take and give and take and give and take and give and take until hateful, ungrateful people step in. When the faith is working and everything's working right, it works like a pumping heart. When a hateful person steps in, the heart doesn't run so well anymore. It's like a blockage. You need to bypass. Bypass the haters. By giving unconditional love. So I felt like my reciprocation was this ungratefulness. And I wanted reciprocation. It's nice. I didn't give to get reciprocation. But I didn't want negative reciprocation. I didn't really expect that, but that's how it happened. So I stopped running free kitchens. I didn't want anything in return, but I certainly didn't want hatred and ignorance and ugliness. So I don't know if anyone noticed. I never made an announcement or anything. I just couldn't bring myself to give if everyone was going to take like that. So I had to start reevaluating things in my life after that Thanksgiving. So unconditional love, given originally, can change into something more conditional. I suppose it can grow resentful if there is no way to refill the cup, no way to keep that heart pumping, no give with the take, and vice versa. Because when you're giving, someone's taking, and when you're taking, someone's giving. So there's always someone. It's a cycle. And if you don't keep refilling the cup, it breaks the cycle. And that's how it was for me. I grew resentful. Not only had these kids not bothered to think that the food cost me money and energy to cook it and time, but they thought that somehow I owed them this food, this hospitality. Had I spoiled people with 10 years of unconditional love? They barely noticed me there cooking. How could I have led by example? I have this kind of magic way of cooking too, especially for a lot of people, where I just kind of wander off with all this seemingly random stuff, and I come back with this magical meal, and I feed everyone. That's probably not getting everybody involved. Is that enabling? Not having them help. Was I enabling just by giving unconditional love? Is that enabling? There's so little real unconditional love in the world that it's really hard to tell. Because there's so little, though, I would veer towards no. Like, I don't think you could really enable with unconditional love just because it's so very rare. It's kind of sad that I found so little on unconditional love when researching. It's also sad that I received so little in reciprocation. Well, a lot of negative, but so little positive in reciprocation. I did find an article in Psychology Today when I looked up lifting a car off of a child. The article was by Jeff Wise, and it's entitled, "Yes, You Really Can Lift a Car Off of a Trapped Child." The article seems to regard, though, fear as the thing that makes us have superhuman strength to lift a car off of a child. But the reason I looked up lifting a car off of a child was because I'd always heard it was a mother lifting a car off of a baby. And I always thought that that was totally unconditional love. And I'd have to disagree with the Psychology Today article because I think it's love. I think it's love that lifts the car off the child. But I think it has to be unconditional love. There's no other way you could lift a car off of a child, or any person for that matter, unless you love them unconditionally. You can't stop at that moment and, discuss fees. You either lift the car off the person or you don't. There's no negotiating at that point. Excuse me. So being a mom of three kids who needed me around that time of Thanksgiving, I decided to lift this ungrateful, heavy car off of my children. Excuse me. So I settled down and I stopped running free kitchens and I started giving all of my unconditional love to my children who needed it. Excuse me. And I stopped giving it to just every other stranger I met on the street. And I understand that strangers need love too, but my kids needed me. Excuse me. And I started to think that maybe some of these other people didn't need me. If I was enabling, maybe they didn't need me. Maybe I needed to step out of the way of that. So I know that I cannot be the world's sole source of unconditional love. And I am not the world's sole source of unconditional love. I need you out there to give some unconditional love so that I'm not the only one. That would be great. I think it's interesting that psychology today seemed to almost confuse fear with unconditional love. I start to step back at this and look in my research at fear and unconditional love. And I started to question, every time we're afraid, is that an opportunity to love unconditionally? So I started looking at all the different times I've been afraid in my life. And I found yes, emphatically yes. Every single time I have been afraid, it has been an opportunity to give love unconditionally. Every single time. So we're afraid. We're afraid of unconditional love. Because, you don't get anything back necessarily. I didn't expect to get negativity back, but it's a risk. It's giving of yourself with no getting that back. So there's so very little of it. And we are afraid of it. Nearly every culture finds it suspicious and foreign today. People are getting arrested for feeding the hungry. Why? Because we're afraid. We're afraid of unconditional love. We're afraid of it probably because it just isn't around. There's so little of it. Can we get Mother Earth back on to say, stop it? We should. Stop being afraid of unconditional love. Mother Earth is unconditional love. But if we kill her, there is no love, no planet, no life, no nothing, no you, no me, no love show, nothing. No conditions, but nothing else either. She is everything. Unconditional. Love is what gives every life life. Unconditional love. Someone helped you. Someone wiped your butt. Someone fed you and burped you and kept you safe. That is unconditional love. Unconditional love is what sustains life. We would not be here without it. Get with some reciprocating. Nothing is free. Everyone must pull their own wagon. No one owes you anything. In fact, after the butt wiping, etc., you owe someone. So before you can walk or talk, you owe someone, somewhere, unconditional love. Every single one of us. All life really owes someone. We all do. Did you pay for your unconditional love? Did you ever reciprocate? Have you ever even given unconditional love? If you're most people, your answer is no. Time's up, kids. It's past time, really. We need to reciprocate unconditional love to our planet, to ourselves, to each other. I had to reciprocate some unconditional love to myself after that Thanksgiving so that I could have unconditional love for my children. It required some healing. I can see why people are afraid. So these days I feed people love unconditionally in a different sort of way. It's sort of from a distance so that I can have less conditions. I feed people unconditional love with music and art and culture and the love show. It's a little safer. So I also found an article from Mind Body Green, written by Lisa Poole. She says, and I quote, "Even dipping into the conversation about love and true love and what is real love can give the impression that we've gone all soft and hippie. Gone all soft and hippie." And the article is entitled, "Unconditional Love, How to Give It and How to Know When It's Real." Well, if you're name calling, that might not be real unconditional love right there. And is it necessary to label people? I mean, all the hippies that I know aren't really soft, and they usually take the hard road and are pretty hardcore people, passionate and loving and caring and kind, but also have been hurt by the world. So they're hard and difficult and ornery sometimes too. I wouldn't call the hippies I know soft, certainly. Apparently Lisa Poole hasn't met very many hippies. But it appears that we just haven't experienced enough unconditional love. It shows. It shows in articles like that one. It shows everywhere we go and everything we do. It shows. My advice to you would be to actually go out and love unconditionally. Try it. No strings, just love another person. Unconditionally. Start with whoever wiped your butt. It's a good place to start. Especially here in May, when we're honoring mothers, who are normally the ones that wipe the butt. Stick with us. We have one more show in May about mothers. Next week's show is going to be about the sacred feminine, and we're going to wrap up the season with next week's show. So that should be fun. I have some exciting announcements for the summer season to keep you busy, and it's going to be an exciting new season and an exciting new studio. So stick with us and get out there and love unconditionally. I love you unconditionally. What is love? Do, 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 do. What is love? Do, do, do. What is love? Do, 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 do. What is love? Do, do, do. What is love? Do, 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 do. What is love? Do, do, do. What is love? Thanks for watching. I love you.